Hello, welcome to Sip's Wood Chips. I'm Sip Mendes, and today's project are these hanger dots. They're made like very large drawer knobs. They come in sets of 4. There's usually 2 that are about 3.5 inches in diameter, 5 inches, then 6.5. And they're attached with either a screw or a molly bolt. And they're great for hanging up things like purses and having a place to hang your hat. So, I'm going to show you how to make these. As always, these videos are presented for your entertainment. Make sure you read, understand, and follow all the instructions that come with your equipment. The most important thing is to work safely. So, here's the piece of timber I'm going to use for making my wall hanger knobs. And these usually are sold in a set. And the set is made up of one 6 3/4 inch knob, one 5-inch knob, and one 3.5 inch knob. So in centimeters, that would be about 17 centimeters. The 5-inch would be about 13 centimeters, and the smallest one, the 3.5, would be about 9 centimeters. The knobs are all about the same distance from the wall. They should be about 1.5 inches from the wall to about 1 3/4. So that means they should be about 3 to 4 centimeters from the wall. And then in the center will be a fastener of some sort. It might be a long wood screw, or it might be a toggle bolt. My timber is just about 3/4 of an inch thick. 3/4, that's about 2 centimeters thick. So I'm going to use my compass, and I'm going to start with the largest one first as far as drawing them, which should be 6 3/4. 6 3/4 would be 3 3/8. So I'm going to set this at 3 3/8. 3 3/8. Okay. Tighten down that. And I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to leave just a little bit of room at the edge for there and here, and that should be fine. Okay, so I'll make a good size mark where the center is, and this will become the back since it's got a big deep cut in it. Next, I need one 5 inches, so I will make that 2.5 inches. It's 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. And I can make one right about here. And 2.5 inches. Okay, with 3.5, that'll be 1.5 plus 1/4, so that'd be 1 3/4. Inches. And I'm going to put him as close as I can to these two and the edge. Okay, the center shafts are going to need supports to get them up from the bottom, and we said those would be about 1.5 across. I'm just going to use this bottle here. That one is about 1.5 inches across, which is about 4 centimeters across. And I'll just use a pencil. And so we'll put one here. I need 2 for each one. Oh, I also need another one of these. I need 2 of these. And I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 8 of these. And I'll cut these out on the bandsaw. And I'll cut the rest of them offline. In my original design, I made them both the same size. I decided to make this one a little bit larger. That way I can taper it a little bit. So I need to know where to put it. So there's the center. I'm going to mark it a little bit larger than my disc. That way I know if it's centered or if it's moved. The grain is running side to side, so I'll put this one with the grain running back and forth. Go ahead and press it down to get the glue to spread, because I'm only going to put glue on one side. There shouldn't be a problem. This one here. Well, the grain's going up and down, so this one's going up and down, so I'll put this one sideways. Now the grain's going this way. Now I need the jaws with a little bit of beeswax to keep any glue from sticking. Okay. So I'll put my disc in my clamp right here, and then I'll close the back ones a little bit first. And then close the front ones down. And that looks pretty good. You can see the glue squeezing out. It usually shows you got a good seal. And I'll let that dry for about a couple of hours, maybe overnight. I've let these dry overnight. And I'm going to take this last one off here. And I've been thinking about how to spin these on the lathe. And this is not very round. It's for me to put it in my chuck, so I decided that I'll take a little glue block like this, and I'm going to put it on with a little bit of paper, and then I can trim it off later. I'll put a little piece of brown paper on it, and make that a little rest for my tailpiece. And I'm going to glue that up for just a few minutes, probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll be ready to spin it. And what I'll do is I'll true up this end, then I can put my chuck on it, and then I can finish the rest of it, and I can chisel that part off without much trouble, and then I can sand it. So I have my 3.5-inch button mounted, and I'm going to round off this side first and round it down to about 36, maybe 38 millimeters. And I have it mounted between centers. On the other side, can't see it, but I did add a small glue block so I don't punch a hole in the top of the button. Just using a 1/2-inch round nose. that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and this shaft needs to be a little bit more parallel on both sides. So I'm going to straighten that up a little bit, and then I should be ready to sand it. I'm going to turn on my dust collector, and I'm going to sand this with 100 and 150. So I'm applying a coat of sanding sealer, and that should bring out a little bit of the color in the grain and the wood. And I want to finish this side first because when I have it on the chuck, I'm not going to have a very good access to this side. And I just want a light coat that'll dry quickly. Okay, I'll let that dry for about 30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and remove the little glue block with just a chisel and a mallet. Let's see how well it comes off. Well, that came off pretty easy. So I'm going to open the jaws on this chuck, and I have a little piece of leather wrapped around this part of the spigot. And see if I can keep from marking it up very much. Okay, that looks pretty good. Tighten it down carefully. Now I'll wiggle it just to see if I can get it true, because I want to be able to get in here and fix this little place here. I'm try not to over tighten it. And move this back down to 500. Yeah, it's wiggling a little bit, but that's fine. I'll just chew it up again. So the first thing I want to do is round over the top of the button. And I'm still spinning at 500. I'm going to go up to 850. And I have my face shield on. Go down a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to sand that a little bit to see how it looks. I think it looks just fine, really. So I have a little bit of a dip right here, so I'm going to have to turn that again. I'm still not out to the circumference here. I got these black marks from the bend, so I'll probably go over that with the wide skew. No, that looks a lot better. That looks better. Okay, again, I'm going to sand it. So I'm going to give this a coat of the sanding sealer. And I'm going to probably, don't need very much, just a light coat. So I gave it a coat of clear high gloss lacquer, and we'll let that dry for about 30 minutes. Well, here's my finished disc knob, and I still need to drill like a 1/8 inch hole here, and then I can get a double-ended wood screw to go in there, or maybe I'll drill it out and put a 1/4 inch molly bolt in there. Well, if you enjoyed the video, click on like. Don't forget to subscribe.